What turned you into a villain for the rest of the world? I exposed my town's beloved youth pastor for hurting kids, and everyone turned against me instead of him. Pastor Mike was untouchable in our small town of 3,000 people. He'd been running the youth group for 15 years, and everyone worshipped him. He's such a blessing to our community, people would say. Those kids adore him. I was 17 when I started noticing things that made me uncomfortable. The way Pastor Mike would put his hands on them during prayer circles, how he'd insist on private counseling sessions with 12 and 13-year-olds in his locked office, the overnight camping trips where he'd share tents with different boys each night. It's mentorship, he'd explain when parents asked. These boys need a strong male role model. But I saw how some of those boys changed after spending time alone with him. My little brother Tommy was one of them. Tommy had always been outgoing and happy, but after joining Pastor Mike's special discipleship program, he became withdrawn and anxious. He started having nightmares, stopped wanting to go to church, flinched when men tried to hug him. "What's wrong with Tommy?" I asked my parents. "He's just going through a phase," my mom said. Pastor Mike says it's normal for boys his age, but I knew something was seriously wrong. One night, I found Tommy crying in his room. He said, "God wants me to keep our special time secret," Tommy whispered, "but it hurts, and I don't want to do it anymore." My blood ran cold. "Tommy, what special time?" Through tears, my 12-year-old brother told me everything. The private prayer sessions where Pastor Mike would touch him, the threats that God would punish our family if Tommy ever told anyone, the other boys who were going through the same thing but were too scared to speak up. I was furious and terrified. The next morning, I went straight to the police. "That's a very serious accusation," Officer Johnson said. "Pastor Mike is a pillar of this community. Are you sure your brother isn't confused?" "He's not confused. He's being hurt. We'll look into it," he said dismissively. Nothing happened for 2 weeks, so I went to the church board. "This is ridiculous," Deacon Williams said. "Pastor Mike has dedicated his life to helping children. Your family must be going through some issues." They refused to investigate. That's when I decided to go public. I created a Facebook post for our town group detailing everything Tommy had told me. I named Pastor Mike directly and begged other families to ask their children if anything inappropriate had happened. The post got some attraction, but not in the way I expected. Instead of support, I got death threats. "How dare you attack a man of God? You're trying to destroy our church with lies. Your family should be ashamed." Pastor Mike held a special service that Sunday to address the false accusations. "I'm being persecuted like Jesus was," he said, tears streaming down his face. "But I forgive those who seek to harm me." The entire congregation gave him a standing ovation. My family was shunned overnight. My dad lost his job at the hardware store. My mom was kicked out of her book club. Tommy and I were bullied mercilessly at school. "Your brother is a liar," kids would taunt Tommy, "and you're a family of troublemakers." But 3 weeks after my Facebook post, something changed. 2 other boys came forward privately. The police finally had enough evidence to arrest Pastor Mike. Pastor Mike was convicted and sentenced to 3 years in prison, but our town never forgave me for exposing him. "You destroyed our church," people would say. "We could have handled this privately. Those boys would have been fine if you just kept quiet." My family had to move to a different state. Even now, 5 years later, I get messages calling me a church destroyer and a family wrecker. I'm the villain in their story because I refuse to let a pred hide behind a collar.